morning, I'm Pastor Allen, and today is Wednesday, September 16th, and today we are looking at Matthew's Gospel, chapter 24, verses 29 through 31. Beginning in verse 29. Immediately after the distress of those days, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light. The stars will fall from the sky, and the heavenly bodies will be shaken. Then will appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then all the peoples of the earth will mourn when they see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he will send his angels with a loud trumpet call, and they will gather his elect from the four winds, from one end of the heavens to the other. So this is dealing with the immediate coming of the Son of Man and what the signs will be. Verse 29 has a quote from both Isaiah chapter 13 verses 9 and 10 and Joel chapter 2 verse 31 and Joel chapter 3 verse 15, where there's an Old Testament prophecy prophesying the coming of the Messiah and how he will return. And for us as believers and Christians, this will be the second coming of Jesus. And it's telling us that the return will be so great and it will be so noticeable because you will see it happening in the sky, and you will even see it happening with the stars and the planets. That's how great, that's how spectacular it will be. And then in verse 30 it says, this will appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then it says the peoples of the earth will mourn. Well, why would they mourn if Jesus is returning? Because people will mourn, they'll be sad, they'll be angry, because it will be more than obvious at that time that they have chosen the wrong side. Those that have scoffed at religion, at Christianity, at Christ following, those who have made fun of Christ followers, will now see the words of the Bible in action. They will see the actual physical return of Jesus. But it will be too late to correct their mistake. And the signs will be very clear and unmistakable. And then it talks about, in verse 31, angels are God's messengers who do his will. And there will be a trumpet sound, and we've heard about Christ will return with a trumpet sound. We hear it in songs, we hear it in hymns, we see it in other places of Scripture. So there is going to be a trumpet sound announcing the return of Jesus. And the believers that are living will be gathered and brought to heaven. And with the believers being taken up into heaven, what this is telling us, there will be bad things coming with the second return of Jesus. And worse things coming. But we as believers only have to have faith and trust in Jesus and his promises. Because, like it says, he will send his angels to gather the elect, to gather us to heaven. So that's a promise that we can rely on. So if you haven't made a decision to be a Christ follower, now is the time to make it, because when these things happen, it will be too late. Have a great day. Talk to you later.